Strategic predictive analysis. After November 28th, the full activation of the GCV 314,159 USD-based global Pi economy. Assumptions: staking 90%, 300 million liquid supply, stablecoin inflow, US Treasury backing, PiUSD expansion. When 314,159 becomes the universal accounting constant of Pi, why only 300 million Pi will remain liquid in a global economy? How stablecoin inflows and staking create hyperscarcity. The true mechanism behind price convergence toward Pi GCV. This analysis is predictive and technical, and real outcomes may differ. After November 28th, GCV becomes the operational accounting standard across all Pi infrastructure layers ***. Every structural layer of the Pi network already contains the GCV value of 314,159 USD embedded as a global constant. Pi Nexus with 20% staking. Supernode layer with 25% staking. PiUSD stable layer. Liquidity reserve of 5 billion Pi. Reward pool of 65 billion Pi. App Studio and DAO layer. Until now, GCV functioned quietly as a non-activated constant. After November 28th, when Pi enters EU and EEA markets under MiCA, the GCV constant becomes an active accounting reference for the entire network. In effect, GCV becomes the gold standard of the Pi internal economy, fixed, universal, immutable. External markets begin discovering price around this anchor value. 2. With 90% staking, only about 300 million Pi remains liquid. Current metrics: unlocked Pi 3.295 billion, locked Pi 5.031 billion, migrated total 8.326 billion. If 90% of unlocked Pi is staked, 3.295 billion times 10% equals approximately 329 million Pi, meaning only about 300 million Pi remains liquid worldwide. This is less than 4% of all migrated Pi. Extreme scarcity becomes the default state of the Pi economy. This single factor explains why price naturally gravitates toward GCV. 3. Stablecoins entering the system are accumulated by the community treasury. After November 28th, anyone buying Pi must deposit assets such as USDT, USDC, DAI, USD, or EUR. These assets go directly into the Pi network treasury, not an exchange. This means the community continuously accumulates external liquidity. Pi network becomes a net absorber of global stablecoins. This is possible only because Pi supply is extremely restricted. Why PiUSD must maintain a perfect $1 peg. PiUSD becomes the internal settlement layer, used for daily ecosystem transactions. ISO 20022 compliant settlements, cross-border payments, internal accounting, merchant operations, App Studio transactions, DAO economic flows. Therefore, PiUSD must be a perfectly stable $1 unit. This requires real asset collateral, specifically US Treasury bills. This keeps PiUSD aligned with MiCA, US stablecoin regulations, FATF and AML standards, and global financial rules. Stablecoin inflow leads to US Treasury purchases, which expand PiUSD. Here is the mechanism. Step 1. External users buy Pi. Stablecoins flow into the Pi treasury. Step 2. The treasury uses stablecoins to purchase US Treasury bills. This mirrors the structure of USDT, USDC, and DAI, all backed heavily by US Treasuries. Step 3. As Treasury bill holdings grow, PiUSD can be safely minted 1-to-1. Step 4. PiUSD becomes the internal cash layer for the entire ecosystem. Thus, PiUSD becomes a fully collateralized, US Treasury-backed stable asset. The more liquidity flows in, the stronger the PiUSD peg becomes. Why enterprises cannot buy Pi, they must earn it. Because of 300 million Pi liquid supply, 90% staking, pioneer sell limit of 0.8 Pi per month, finite liquidity reserve, exploding global demand, it becomes mathematically impossible for enterprises to buy large amounts of Pi on markets. Thus, companies must earn Pi through contribution. This transforms Pi into a labor-backed digital currency. Enterprises participate by accepting Pi, building apps, selling goods and services, running DAOs, and contributing infrastructure. 7. Dual-layer economy. Internal GCV layer versus external market layer ***. Internal economy. GCV fixed at $314,159. PiUSD pegged at $1. Reward pool fixed at 65 billion. Nexus and supernode constants fixed. Accounting values immutable. External economy, supply scarcity. Price discovery, liquidity constraints. Global demand shocks. The outcome, external price converges toward internal GCV. Staking increases scarcity and accelerates convergence. The internal accounting layer becomes the dominant reference. 8. Full economic cycle after November 28th. 1. External demand surges. 2. Liquid supply collapses to around 300 million Pi. 3. Price increases toward GCV. 4. Stablecoins flow into the Treasury. 5. Treasury buys US Treasuries. 6. PiUSD expands as a Treasury-backed stable unit. 7. Enterprises must earn Pi. 8. The ecosystem expands exponentially.